Hi, this is Diane Lovetobake on YouTube, and I really hope that you continue to watch my videos solely on YouTube. If you're watching them anywhere else, well, they're not mine, and they certainly, well, they're not approved. So please watch my channel and videos on YouTube. Really appreciate that very much. Well, let's get started. We're going to make chocolate truffle cookies. This recipe is very quick. I think it's very fast to make, and it really makes one delicious little cookie. So you're going to first start off with 1 cup butter. Now, you don't have butter, you don't like butter, whatever, use margarine. I went ahead, I cut it up into small pieces because it's easier, I believe, to cream it and break it up. Okay, let me just run and grab my spatula real quick. Okay, and I'm going to use my stand-up because it's quicker for the video. I'll warn you though, if I raise my speed and it gets a little loud. Now, once you do that, and it won't take very long, especially if you're using a stand-up, go ahead and feel free to use your hand mixer if you want. We're going to be putting in a 1/2 cup of powdered sugar. So I'm just going to put the whole amount in there and then just start creaming it with the butter. What we're going to put in is 1½ teaspoon of vanilla, and we'll cream that together. I'm going to raise my speed a little bit. You're going to need chocolate. Now, if you want to buy your unsweetened chocolate already, you know, in squares, feel free. You can also buy it where it's actually melted and it's in a little packet. I find it's very expensive, so I like to make my own. And to make 1 ounce of the unsweetened chocolate that you need for this cookie recipe, you would use 3 tablespoons of unsweetened cocoa, that's baking cocoa, and 1 tablespoon of oil. That'll be your choice what type of oil. And then just put them together, give it a quick stir, and you've made yourself 1 ounce of unsweetened chocolate, and you've paid a fraction for it compared to the solid bar or the one that, like I said, it's ready to go out of the envelope. It'll be up to you. This is just a suggestion, okay? But you can see, there you go. We've got 1 nice ounce of unsweetened chocolate, okay? So let's put that in there, into this mixture. I want to get it all out because that's the only way that these cookies are going to turn out well. So I just want to, let me use my spatula a little bit here and get the rest out. Okay. And now I'm just going to beat that together. I'm going to raise my speed, warn you about the sound. Okay. And now I'm just going to bring it all together because it tends to really stick to the side of my mixing bowl. So I'm going to just blend it for a little bit here. Okay, and I'll show you what that looks like. Alrighty. Now we're going to go with the dry ingredients. So you're going to need 2 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour and 1/4 teaspoon of salt in that. And I'm going to just give that a really quick stir with my spoon. Okay. And now we're going to start just putting it in slowly. Till it's all combined. Now, at this point, you probably will think, well, it looks a little dry, I've done something wrong. No, you haven't. But you will have to continue to mix it and blend it till it starts to form a cookie dough, okay? And it will. You just have to, you know, stay with it. Don't give up on it. Again, you know, make sure if you're using the mixer, as I am, or your bowl, you know, clean up those sides so you get all those ingredients mixed. Now, this is really the longest that it's going to take for this whole recipe because it does take a while for this very dry, crumbly mixture to turn into a cookie dough that you're able to roll into a ball. So I'm going to raise my speed. Show you what I have so far. You can start to see it's still crumbly, but it's starting to form a ball, because what we're going to do is once it is all combined, I'm going to raise my speed. Okay, and you will immediately start seeing that, well, there's your cookie dough. So what we're going to put in next are the chocolate chips. And you're going to need 1 cup. Now you can fold these in by hand, or you can just, you know, as I'm doing, mix them. I try not to overbeat them because I don't want to break them up, but I do want to evenly distribute them. Okay. Now I'm going to just take my paddle out, take off my excess here, and set this aside for the moment. And then I want to show you this really nice cookie dough. Now I have to tell you, when I've made these cookies, I've made them right as we're doing them right now. And then I've also put them in the fridge and chilled them for about 20 minutes. And sometimes I really find I like it when I chill it because it's a little easier to roll them. But it's not a necessity. You don't have to if you don't have the time or you just don't want to do it. Because after all, baking, you know, it should be fun. It should be enjoyable, and you know, you want to do it. So here we go. You can see this beautiful cookie dough with all those nice chocolate chips in there, all those morsels. And use whatever type you like. If you like the semi-sweet, if you like the espresso, the dark chocolate ones, any flavor, you know, just use a cup of them. Okay, the next thing that you're going to need is, of course, is a baking tray or a cookie sheet. I have parchment paper down, but if you don't have it or you don't want to spend money for parchment paper, make sure that you grease or oil your trays. The spray doesn't work really well. Your cookies have a tendency to burn with them. So I don't recommend that. Of course, that's, you know, entirely up to you, but these are just suggestions on my part. And then what you do is just take a little ball of this beautiful cookie dough and just roll a 1-inch ball, about that big. And you don't want to put them too close together, but at least, you know, put them at least an inch apart, something like that. Now what you're going to do is you're going to bake these cookies at 375, and they can take anywhere from 10 to 12 minutes. So please check on them. I like to start checking on mine early, actually around 8 or 9 minutes, because as we realize, all ovens set up so differently, and you don't want them to get burned. Now in this recipe, I generally get anywhere from 3.5 to 4 dozens. It really depends on how big you make them, okay? Of course, if you're going to make them larger than a 1-inch ball, then allow that time for baking to be a little bit longer, okay? So let me wash my hands real quick, rinse them. I don't want to be touching cookies with raw cookie dough on my hands, that's for sure. All right, and I want to show you what they look like when they're baked up. Now, when they're baked up, they're going to look like this. It'll be a nice medium brown on the top, all over it, and the bottom, but you're going to need to roll them. And what you're going to be putting in is 2 tablespoons of unsweetened baking cocoa to 1/4 cup of powdered sugar in a bowl, just like I have, okay? And then just roll the cookie in the cocoa and the sugar. When I'm in a super rush, I've even put these in a clean plastic bag and actually shook the cookies around in the dry mixture. But of course, rolling them by hand, really, they come out really perfect, very nice. So you can see, you know, how quickly it is just to cover these, okay? So now I'd like to show you what they look like once you have them in a little, I like to put them in these little papers, these little cupcake liners. This is how they're going to come out. They really are cute little cookies, great with a cup of tea or a cup of coffee, that kind of thing. But let's cut one open so you can get a better idea of the inside and the crumb of this cookie. I don't know if you can see it, but I hope you can. You can see the beautiful chocolate chips, and the outside is firm, but the inside, and I hope you can see that. I'm going to just try to break it up with my fingers. The crumb is very delicate. These are going to just melt in your mouth when you eat these. Okay, so they'll have, the center is you know, has a little bit of moisture to it, so they're not real dry cookies where they're tasteless. But when they do, and you bite into them, you will taste that wonderful chocolate and that great taste of cocoa. They really are fun little cookies to make, and I think quite easy. So I want to thank you for watching my channel, Diane Lovetobake on YouTube. I will tell you though, the ingredients will not be below the video any longer. So I hope that you'll just watch and listen through this video to get all the ingredients and that type of thing. And if you're so inclined and you'd like to subscribe to my channel, boy, it'd be greatly appreciated. I really would appreciate it. And if you'd like to give me a like, that would be terrific too. Well, thanks for watching Diane Lovetobake, and I'll see you soon.